I think some nations in the world are setting a dangerous trend. Dangerous, of course, if your current job description reads politician. Now, here's why I say this. At Nepal, throughout the week, there have been demonstrations of a poor leadership and an ill-advised social media ban by the president and the prime minister. Now, in the midst of all that, a brutal dictator, Awan Sharma Oli, gave the order to shoot to kill any civilian who attempts to enter government buildings, similar to our own Kasongo. Now, that erroneous order led to the death of 19 people, which sparked an even bigger nationwide protest. And these are some of the scenes that we are seeing. Number one, the Nepal Prime Minister has been arrested by citizens, and last I saw him, he was being massaged properly. Warning though, this video is a bit graphic. Here's a tip. Now, the same Prime Minister, as he was being massaged in his office, his house was being burnt at the same time. Here's a tip. And in that same house that was burnt down, the Prime Minister's wife was also burnt inside alive. Her name was Jathlan Khalil. Rest in peace to her. Number two, Nepal's finance minister, the equivalent of John Badi, was beaten in the streets. Here's a tip. Now, the beating was so bad that he had to escape into a river, where people followed him into that river wakiendelea kumchapa na kumflog. Here's the tip. I'm telling you, things are not pretty in Nepal. Moving on to number three. Corrupt officials who saw what happened to the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance decided that their only way to survive is escape, and this was their only escape route. Our only hope is that as they made their way out of that murky situation, they didn't carry all that was in treasury with them. Because that is what happens to dictators. Assad, when he was fleeing Syria, he carried the country's entire treasury and went to live off in Russia. Number four, these guys did not spare the president of Nepal. His house also went up in smoke. Here's the tip. Now, of course, the equivalent of this would be Mudavadi getting caned in his railway office, John Badi being flogged in River Yala or some other river, and Ruto goes into hiding. It's a wet dream that many Kenyans have, but I don't think that that's what this country needs. And Libya is a great case study for this. During the days of dictator Mohammed Gaddafi, Libyans were doing so well as a country. They were even supplying Kenya and several African countries with petroleum products through the likes of Oil Libya. But since Gaddafi was killed and assaulted in his behind with an AK-47, Libya has since been declared a failed state, and they have never, ever recovered. Currently, they have ongoing conflicts, political instability, humanitarian crisis, and an economic decline. And if Nepal is not careful, that just might be their share of fate. Because even now as we speak, the people of Nepal have the lowest IQ in the world. They have an IQ score of 42.99, the worst ever. And this is despite the rich cultural heritage and the stunning landscapes. So for this country to recover, it will take a miracle. This is either the beginning of a new dawn for them, or it's the beginning of the end where they get to morph into a failed state like Libya. Let's see how things unravel moving forward now. Here's what Kenyans had to say to Nepal, and I quote, Force One said, those Nepal people are still gonna elect another bunch of losers as their leaders. The cycle of Vipindire continues. Overcome evil with good said, message to dealers, looters, thieves of public funds, bribes, and bribe takers who chest thump. Mpende msipende, guessing he's saying they'll share in the same fate. Richie said, we can't go out for demos in huge numbers, overwhelm the state apparatus, and then go home and rest and make merry for a week until next Tuesday. Nima said, after shoot to kill and shoot the legs order, Ruto anaona ameweza wa Kenya. Sasa anaendelea na plan zake chafu chafu. Telby said, William Ruto, we want you to trigger Kenyans by passing that bill ya 7 years. And I'm pretty sure that bill would have that effect. In fact, to the surprise of many, after what happened in Nepal, the Senate came out to say that there is no such bill that is about to be tabled in the Senate in regards to term extensions. I guess pia wameogopa, wameona what has happened in Nepal, na wanajua sisi ndo the first to ever. This is not the time to test Kenyans. It is not the time, and it is good they have shelved that idea, but I promise you, if Ruto wins a second term, they will do term limit extensions, because then they'll have nothing to lose. Utafanya maandamano wa kuweke GSU mufinyane huko vitu, give up, they go back to extend the term limits anyway. That is how dictators operate. But anywho, what say you guys? Do drop me your own comments in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to read them and to give you a response. And with that, here's today's ad of the day. If you're in need of electrical wiring, solar installation, or electrical fittings such as strip lights, snake lights, downlighters, or chandeliers, contact Engineer Wycliffe at 0707 476602, and he'll get your house dapped up. Now, if you're here for the first time, please go on and hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching for a different platform, just head on over to YouTube, search for David Wafula, hit the subscribe button. You're going to be getting a ton of content of this nature. If politics is something you're passionate about, this is definitely the one channel that you really need to subscribe to. Alright guys, adios. Thank you for choosing David Wafula as your primary news platform. We put countless hours in research, recording, and editing. By showing up each and every day to watch our videos, you encourage us to generate more videos for the viewers. We are on a mission to inform, educate, and build a better tomorrow. To our thousands of followers in a world full of presidents, kings, and queens, you are the real gem. Adios.